Cleveland County. I am all dressed up here in a bee outfit, thanks to Steve. Oh, this is, I'm going to show you the back.
Yeah, that's the most important part.
Oh, is it? Oh, the helmet. Well, I'm going to put it on, am I not? Yeah, there we go.
Helmet and veil to keep you from getting stung where it really hurts on your face.
Because we're doing bees today, folks. This is the most exciting program I believe we've ever done. And I was going to say the buffalo was the best, but they never chased us.
Oh.
These bees may chase us, Steve.
Well, I hope it doesn't get too exciting now.
Folks, this is Steve Gibson. He was with the County Extension Agency for years and years, and been retired. And I'm assuming your love of bees started probably when you were in Extension.
Yes, it did. I filled in when there was a hiring freeze for horticulture and got some requests to start a beekeeping association, and that's what we did.
Oh, okay. But now, since you're retired, you can spend more time working with your bees. We're in a location in Cleveland County. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hives, I believe, and they're different kinds of bees in these hives. Some are making honey, some are swarms that you captured, I believe is what you just said.
Well, all of them were either swarms that we captured this year and bait hives that we put out.
Oh, okay.
And one of them is actually a split that we made. If you split the brood combs of a colony, make sure you have eggs
and a queen,
young larvae in each one, and the queen will be in the other side of the split.
Oh, well, what are we going to do here?
Well, we might first light the smoker.
Okay.
And I'll do that.
Let's talk about what the smoker is going to do.
Well, it's going to produce smoke, of course.
Okay.
And what the smoke does, if you use it correctly, it masks the what we call the alarm pheromone that bees use to communicate with each other. So if it does that, hopefully the bees will all be gentle or less defensive.
Okay. And you folks, he is not dressed in anything. I guess I have on his bee thing, right?
Yeah, I don't use it much. Most of the time all I use is a simple pullover veil like that. They're more fancy veils, but this one is homemade. We actually made this for a 4-H activity.
Oh, what a great thing.
Yeah.
So that's a plug for 4-H, folks.
Yeah, exactly. And lighting the smokers, pretty straightforward. I use shredded paper, and if I'm going to be inspecting a long time, say a colony location with 10 or more hives, I use pellets for animal bedding. But it's just simple.
Oh, in other words, pellets you would also burn to make the smoke. Okay.
Exactly.
Well, I'm getting suited up here. Here we go.
Yeah.
Now, folks, the reason we're doing this is because Steve is going to open up a hive. All right, are we getting ready to open up this thing?
Yeah, and this is completely unrehearsed. I don't know if this colony is going to be defensive.
Oh my God.
I usually have a veil with me.
Yes, Steve.
Just in case.
Now, do you holler when you get stung?
No, I just say that wasn't nice.
Well, Annie just got through telling me, Annie's doing our photography today, and she said if I get stung, it's my own fault.
Oh.
So we're gonna think it's your own fault.
There you go. Yeah, being so stupid, I guess. I selected this hive, this colony, because it was actually a swarm that I caught in a bait hive this year, a fairly large swarm, and it is actually going to be productive this year.
Okay.
So we'll start.
And you know that because you've already looked in here at one
Oh yeah,
time.
exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I hadn't been in it in a while, but I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be that way now.
Right.
So you just want me to go ahead?
Absolutely, go right ahead.
Well, like I said, you just
do your job.
Put through a few smokes in there, and it's best to wait, maybe 10 seconds before you proceed any further. But then you just this particular one has what they call a migratory cover.
Migratory cover.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have an inner cover on this, but most of my colonies do have inner covers. But after you get it off, just gently put it down like that.
Okay, and by the way, there are bees on this cover.
Yeah, sometimes I'll smoke them.
Okay, which he's doing right now.
Yeah.
Makes him happy.
Okay, this time of the year, by the way, the bees are actually decreasing in population.
Okay.
During the dearth, even though we're not having one very severe, they are, the population is dropping. And usually I'll just pull the frame out and just set it up like that. You can buy some fancy gadgets that hold it on the side, but I'm not a gadget type.
Right. Well, you're practical.
Well, I don't know. It's just a matter of opinion. There's a drone.
Okay.
It will not sting you. It doesn't have a stinger.
Okay. Okay.
And that you can tell them they're different when they fly. The sound is. You think?
I heard him. I heard him buzz.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know if that'll show up.
Yeah.
But his abdomen is more barrel-like, and he's bigger than the workers. Much bigger. And like I said,
his function is to breed with the queen.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Now, and the worker bees also feed the queen. Do they feed the drones?
Well, the drone can actually feed himself, but he
Okay.
can't gather the nectar and pollen
Okay.
because he doesn't have the body parts to allow
Gotcha.
him to do that. So we did find a drone. Let's see what we got.
And so far you haven't gotten stung, Steve, right?
No? Mm-mm.
Whoa.
Okay. We can talk about, bees of course store honey, but they also store pollen. See the yellow? And it's not all yellow. Sometimes pollen can be red, gray, blue, green.
Where's the yellow? Is that deeper in there?
Right in
Right
this
in
area.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Huh. Wow.
Yeah. And if you remember how the drone looked, you notice these bees are smaller. These are worker bees. And you can't see it that well, but right in here there's some uncapped brood.
Okay. And that means, are they getting ready to escape?
Now that means the uncapped brood is still developing as a larva.
All right.
And when they're as big as they're going to get, oh wow, I think it's after 9 days, they spin the cocoon and they become pupa.
And then the pupa develop into bees.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And do they develop into bees right there in those little honeycomb looking things?
Yeah.
Okay.
For worker bees, it's typically 21 days from the time the egg is laid. On that 20th or 21st day, she'll chew through that cap, and you can actually see her chewing her way out.
Okay. And you call her. Are those all the workers?
The workers are all female.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
All right.
The queen, of course, is female.
Right.
So the majority of the bees in a colony is female.
Okay.
If a colony has lots of drones, there's something wrong.
Oh, I gotcha.
Because an unfertilized egg is what produces drones. And if the queen has run out of semen that she stores during her mating flights,
right,
she can't lay fertilized eggs.
Okay.
So a queen usually lasts 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
Some beekeepers requeen every year, by the way. So.
Okay.
But I'm glad we saw some uncapped brood. So.
Oh yeah, no, it's great, Steve. So,
well, we'll go a couple more frames and see what we see, but Okay, here's a good one to pull out.
Oh, wow, Steve. Oh, yeah.
That's a frame
Oh,
of,
yeah, look at that.
honey.
Now, this is stored food for them, is that correct? Okay.
Honey is a mixture of fructose and glucose, which is essentially the same that's in high fructose corn syrup.
Oh, okay.
So as you might imagine, there's some problems with adulteration of natural honey.
Right, right, sure.
What they collect, the nectar, is mostly sucrose. And the sugars in honey or in high fructose corn syrup are simple sugars, meaning your body doesn't have to break them down.
Right.
So for kids, it's instant energy.
Instant energy, yes.
Whereas table sugar would be a little bit more delayed.
Right.
So if you want to get your kids
awake in the morning.
Yep.
Honey and toast.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. Well, this is great, Steve. Listen, thank you so much. We've seen everything. We've seen where the honey is. Now, will they have honey further on down as the season goes?
Well, not to harvest. Our typical system here is to have what we call a deep hive body for the lower brood chamber, and then a shallow on top of that.
Okay.
Which we refer to as the bees' honey. We leave that for them to overwinter on.
Okay, okay. And then the upper two would be where you'd harvest the honey.
Exactly. Surplus honey. So.
Okay, okay. All right. Well, Cleveland County, this has been fascinating. None of us have hollered other than Annie. Are they getting your feet, Annie?
Fire ants.
Fire ants.
Oh no, fire ants. Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, Steve's not gotten stung. I'm all wrapped up. I can't. Stay tuned. Nancy Abasi-Akon will be talking about the nutritional value of honey. Thanks for viewing.
Arsenic, cadmium, fluorine, formaldehyde, rubidium, lithium.
Do yourself a favor and don't image search for exploding e-cigarettes.
What you don't know about e-cigarettes can hurt you.
Are you ready to take all this in?
Lots of places have made history. And in Cleveland County, we've made our fair share. The difference is, we're still making it. With a strong economic development partnership, some of the best businesses in America are proud to call Cleveland County home. In Cleveland County, businesses make history every day. And tomorrow, even more.
Cleveland County, welcome back. We're in the studio with Nancy Abasi-Akon, the Family and Consumer Sciences County Extension Agent. And of course, as you already know, we're going to be talking about honey. What a time we had around the beehives yesterday, Nancy.
I bet
so. My goodness. Such fun. So tell us all the good things. Why do we need to eat honey?
Okay. Well, honey, and of course, overall, the dietary guidelines recommend that we eat less sugars and sweeteners, but because we are tuned to sweet things and we're going to eat some of that, honey is actually a good choice. It like sugar, they're both carbohydrates, but you do have some nutritional benefits to honey. There's some vitamins and a few minerals, some B vitamins, even a trace amount of vitamin C, some antioxidants and so forth that you don't get in sugar, like granulated sugar or some of the other sweeteners. So Also with honey, because it has a more intense flavor, stronger flavor,
Right.
you may tend to use less of it.
Of course, we go to the grocery store, or luckily the farmer's market now, because there are some honey vendors there. But once we get it home, how do we take care of it?
Okay, honey is something that we would keep on the shelf. We do not refrigerate. You don't need to refrigerate honey.
Okay.
Just keep it in a cool place, 50 to 70 degrees or so. You don't want to store it near the oven or the stove, or besides something that is a heat generating appliance. So remembering that temperature,
Okay.
just to keep it in a cool place, and it will be fine right on the shelf,
Okay.
in the pantry and so forth.
What about the shelf life for honey? Because I know I've had some, and I didn't find it, and then when I found it, it had become solid.
Right.
Is there any way we can get it unsolid?
There is, and it is still good.
Oh, good,
It's
good,
still fine
okay.
to use. You can either place the jar, open the lid, place the jar in a container with some boiling water in the jar, in a container, set your jar there and for a few minutes and let that soften. Or you could again take the lid off, place it in the microwave for 2 or 3 seconds, just a short period of time, and do that as you need to again bring that back to a liquid state.
Okay.
So one other thing we need to mention about honey, as we were talking beforehand, it is not to be given to infants.
Yes.
Children under age 1, do not give them honey, because it could have, because it's a natural product, it could have botulism in the honey, which of course children older than age 1 and adults, our body can handle that.
Okay.
But for infants, that could lead to quite some complication.
Well, Nancy, thank you again so much for your
pleasure.
wealth of knowledge. And you were either taking notes, folks, or please go to the website.
Right.
And
look for the
would
fact
you
sheets.
please, and again, how will they access the fact sheets?
clevelandcounty.org website, or from Cooperative Extension's website, from our website as well.
Okay. All right, great. Well, there's no reason why you can't use honey and enjoy it, unless children
For infants,
1 and
1 and
under.
under.
Yes, yes.
And lower glycemic index with honey. So there's several things. Just look at the fact sheet. You'll get a lot of good information.
Great. Well, wonderful. Stay tuned. We're going to be in the kitchen cooking with honey. So we'll see what our chef comes up with. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Tim Foster from C19 TV.
I'm former Shelley High School football coach Chris Norman.
And I'm Rob Root from KTCBroadcasting.com. Join us each week for Armchair Quarterback. In 2016, we saw Shelby win a historic 4th consecutive 2A state title and playoff appearances for Burns, Crest, and Kings Mountain. What's in store on the gridiron in 2017? Each week we take a look at all 4 Cleveland County high school football teams. Shelby, and conference foes Crest, Kings Mountain, and Burns. We will look at what happened the week before and look ahead at what's coming up this week.
We'll also discuss SEC, ACC, and Gardner-Webb football.
And of course, the NFL and those Carolina Panthers.
Don't miss another great season of Armchair Quarterback each week right here on C19 TV.
Cleveland County, hi there again. We've been in the field to see the bees. We've been in the studio to talk about the value of honey. And we are here in the kitchen with Jeanette's son, who owns Nefen Kitchen, Nefen's the restaurant, and I'm going to have her talk about that because I know you can multitask, talk and work at the same time. We're going to try to squeeze in 2 recipes. So Jeanette, here we go.
Well, thank you for having me, Deborah.
Well, you're welcome.
I just wanted to let you know that a little bit about Nefen Kitchen. I currently closed the bistro about a couple of months ago.
Right.
So over at the bistro, we've mainly focused on our catering and private dining. So that's available anytime.
Okay.
And then the kitchen, which we've opened back in November of last year, it's a lot casual than the bistro, of course, but the quality and the service is still the same as what you expect from the bistro, and so that's what we strive for.
From Jeanette's son.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's get to cooking.
All right, so
Jeanette.
one of our most popular items, not currently at the kitchen, but at the bistro, is the roasted cauliflower with the green goddess sauce. So I know that right now a lot of us are focusing on our health and a lot of vegetables, and especially this time of the year with the farmers market. So I'm very fortunate, or we are very fortunate in Cleveland County to have a lot of the produce and meats from Cleveland County in the surrounding areas. So we've used a lot of the produce from, from the tomatoes, which is like bountiful right now, to the squash, zucchini, cucumbers. So we always incorporate that, and it's always nice to have the farmers call me up and say, hey, what do you need this week? And it's just so nice that, I get to talk to them and, see what's going on. And so it's always a pleasure
and get
honor.
that quality.
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to start off with, we're going to cut the cauliflower. We're going to put them in steaks. So it's just one full cauliflower, and we're just going to cut these up in probably like a 1/2 inch thick. And this is actually a very easy recipe to do. So there's not a lot of prep time. So if you're wanting something that's filling and healthy, this is probably one of the easiest recipes to work on. So all we're going to do is just put the cauliflower on a sheet tray. And then I've just converted the olive oil. And it's a blend of extra virgin olive oil and olive oil.
Yes, and you mentioned that really when you cook with it doesn't make it bitter.
Bitter or burnt taste, because extra virgin does have a tendency to burn.
Oh, that's good.
Anyway, so we've used that, and of course, we love our salt and pepper, and you don't have to use salt and pepper; you can just use pepper. But here
you've mixed it together.
I've mixed it just for this, purpose of just being more quick and efficient. And then we're going to zest a whole lemon, whole orange.
And in the interest of time, Jeanette, let's just do the orange.
The orange.
And then the lemon.
And the lemon.
Okay, there we go. Good deal.
And this just makes it such more lighter, more citrus taste. So that way.
All right, that's good.
That way it just has more of a, fresh, clean taste. And then we're going to put a little bit of the herb de Provence, which is a dry herb that has a mixture of thyme, rosemary, a little bit of
and you did
parsley.
say this was fairly expensive,
so
you could use your own spices.
And now if you've got a fresh herb garden, that's great. You can do that. And really, you don't have to use herb de Provence. We use a lot of it, but you can just use regular fresh, herbs that you have in the garden, whether it's thyme, rosemary, or tarragon.
And then we have set our oven for
at, 425.
425. So for how many minutes?
For 12 minutes.
Oh, that's perfect. Perfect.
So then we're going to make this green goddess sauce, which is actually, you can use it as a dressing. And for time purposes, we're going to put some sour cream. And if you don't want to use sour cream, for those of you that are watching your figure right now, you can use Greek yogurt, which is always a nice substitute for sour cream. So I've just put in about a 1/2 cup of sour cream. And of course, we always use Duke mayonnaise, because that's the best.
So when you go to Nifan Kitchen,
absolutely.
Get Duke's.
So
that's my girl.
Half of a sour cream, half cup of sour cream to a cup of mayonnaise. And then we're going to do we're going to squeeze a 1/2 of orange.
And I see you do that in your hand, so if you get seeds, the seeds will be in your hand.
Absolutely, yes.
That's great. And same for is that a lemon?
Yes, and a 1/2 of a lemon.
Okay, look at that.
Right. Oop, there's one that fell in there.
Well.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we're going to put some fresh tarragon.
Okay.
And just pick at it. And like I said, you can do all this prep ahead of time. Just pick the leaves off. And then I've got some just regular curly parsley, but you can use Italian parsley, flat leaf parsley, which we like to use. But this morning I went to Ingles and their flat leaf parsley didn't look as fresh, so we just got curly parsley. But you know, either
Of
parsley
course,
is fine.
there, as the season goes along,
Yes.
there may be some fresh
Right,
from,
right.
from some of our
and
local
you can
farmers.
grow. You can actually grow parsley. It's so easy, and they grow like
right.
weeds actually.
Right,
So then
right.
we're going to, of course, use put a
Get
little
2
bit of salt,
minutes.
pepper.
Okay.
Okay. And then a little bit of goat cheese. Now you don't have to have goat cheese because it is, you know, very expensive, but this is just an added little, you know,
I think
zest.
if you go to Aldi's, it may be a little bit cheaper.
Yes, absolutely. But you don't have to
Yes.
put goat cheese at all. You know, you don't have to.
But that just makes it a lot more
Right.
creamy.
Yes.
Since we're talking creamy green goddess.
Yes,
there
green
you
goddess.
go.
Okay. So then we're just
Okay.
going to put it on high in the food processor for a few minutes,
Okay.
and
good
then
job.
we're done.
Okay, so
So-
we have our green goddess dressing.
Right,
That's
green
it,
goddess
right
dressing.
there.
Okay.
All
So
right.
then- So then for presentation, you're going to spoon this a little bit on the plate. Here we go.
Okay.
And then
There
we're
we
gonna
are.
There you go.
Okay.
So it's nice and roasted for 12 minutes. And then I'm just going to put a couple of these steaks on here, cauliflower steaks.
Oh
There
my
you go.
Gosh, Jeanette. And then you could probably spoon some more right on top.
You
Would
can.
Would you,
You sure
not do
can.
that?
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
have
And you
plenty
can use this
here.
for dressing too, you know.
Oh,
So
like
that's a nice
dressing on,
light-
on any kind
on a
of
salad, yes.
Right, right, right.
And it's actually good on a marinade too, you know.
Right,
For
right,
chicken.
right. One more thing, we need honey on that. Absolutely.
Yes.
That's why
Okay.
we're doing
We're just
it.
going to do a little drizzle
Oh
on there to
my
finish it off.
God, that is going to
Yes.
be so good.
It's fabulous.
All right. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
my
guys. Thank you for having me.
dear, for coming on this show. Nefen Kitchen, fabulous.
Thank you.
And the food is wonderful. Thanks
you.
so much for coming.
Thank you. Once
Stay
again.
tuned. Next month will be squash, yellow squash, for the month of August.